What's up, everyone? Today we'll be looking at Mmp Blackout, and he is phenomenal. When I say phenomenal, I mean phenomenal. So the thing I love the most about him is not only how cohesive all the paint and all the looks on him are, it's just the fact that he looks good from any angle you look at him. It looks like a helicopter, but most importantly, it looks like a helicopter. Legitimately speaking, if you were walking and you happen to look up, the only parts that would tell you that this is a robot, maybe these arm sections right here, ignoring the guns. Actually, the guns might even be there for a regular helicopter, but ignoring these arm parts, you legitimately could not tell. And that's been the biggest issue confronting any Transformer with an aerial mode, is the fact that there has to be, like, you can always tell that there's a robot under there. And that's what I love. They really struck a balance to make him look good in both modes. And I think they really just knocked it out of the park. Like, I'd expect this type of thing from a third-party company, but for Hasbro to do it themselves, I mean, granted, it's a masterpiece, but come on. I mean, they're learning. They know, and it's beautiful. He's a little panel liney, but it really doesn't make that much of a difference. He just looks gorgeous. Both of his propellers spin, and they spin well. At least this one spins really, really well. This one kind of but I'm not really mad about that. He's just phenomenal. All the landing gear works. He rolls very, very nicely. And another thing about this, you see this cargo bay door is very, very nice, very sleek, but it's also functional. As you can see, it opens to reveal Scorponok. Now, you may notice Scorponok's got a little bit of battle damage, and that's true. As I was trying, the shot before this, I was trying to get him out, because the pegs that keep him in here, they really keep him in there. Like, he's secure, he's not going anywhere. So just be careful, and don't break his arm. I can probably just super glue it, but don't break his arm. Anyway, Scorponok stores here very, very, very securely, but when you get him out and you look at him, he's very, very nice. This is what Scorponok looks like. He's very, very, very nicely painted. The tail is articulated. The head's not really. It's like on a slight ball joint, but you don't really want much of that anyway. So the arms go up and down. Well, arm, or whatever, that goes up and down. And honestly, I'm just so glad that they included him, because the Scorponok figures that we've gotten so far have been like upscaled, and they're cool. Like, they're fine. But they were never really impressive because they had to convert into something on their own. But the fact that he doesn't, and he can kind of just be a standalone figure, not a standalone figure, but a standalone addition, is really, really nice. If you notice, this part of the propeller is sticking up a little bit because this top part can separate and become the blade weapon that he had in the end of the first movie, when he was like, when he transformed into the street and he was like, that whole thing. It can do that, which is very, very nice. But I transform him a lot because I really, really like him. So the clips on this one have just gotten a little weak. But, you know, when you get yours, you'll be fine. He'll be totally cohesive. And he looks great. He looks great. Just make sure you have the space to accommodate him in any configuration, because he's big here and he's big in robot mode. So just make sure, if this is like your type of scale, make sure that you can put him somewhere. I'll give you your last 360 of Blackout here before we get him into robot mode. And honestly, his transformation is really not that bad. Here we have Blackout in his robot mode, and he is yet again just gorgeous. I mean, remember how in the helicopter mode he was mostly gray with a little bit of detail here and there? You're really starting to see how that detail just kind of explodes, and it's everywhere now. There's mechanical detail on the arm, under the arm, on the hand, and as you can see, the hand, his propeller thing kind of slides into the side of the hand. Now, I do kind of wish that there was a way to just pop off the hand, or like maybe like flip it back and there's like a peg that you could put in or something, but I'm not too mad about it. At least it's there. At least it's the thing. So yeah. Now, something that I thought about as I was transforming it is the engine up here of the helicopter is actually so huge, because it folds back into the helicopter, and it feels kind of like it's actually like, oh damn, anyway, it feels like it's actually a working helicopter. And I love how it just sits above his head. It just makes his presence seem a lot more menacing, because even though his head is down here, his technical presence doesn't stop until up here. So it just makes him seem a lot larger and more imposing than he actually is. But he's still no slouch, do not get me wrong. While I do love a lot of parts of the robot mode, I don't love all of it. And I'll explain what I mean in a second. It actually starts with the arms right up here. These parts don't tab in anywhere. They kind of just sit. So when you're posing the arms or when you're moving it around, just kind of like be aware of that, because they will flip up and it'll look a little bit off, but it's fine. It's fine. The head sculpt is just amazing. He looks so good. He's insectoid. It's alien. It's unfamiliar. I love that so very much. Actually, in his chest, it folds down, and you've got a little port right here. Now, depending on the way you want to display it, you could kind of have this as the camera that took the picture of Epps, or alternatively, you could have it be one of the guns that he used to destroy the base. Now this and his guns are obviously blast effect compatible, and I like that it came with them. But I don't really like to keep it there all too much, because I just I don't love it. Like, it's cool and I'm glad I have the option, but it's not my favorite. So another good thing is the back. Do you see this? Do you see how clean this is? Look at his side profile. I mean, sure, you've got a little bit of helicopter junk right down here, but that doesn't really matter when you consider how flat his back is. Now, the conversion to get the back this flat, or really just to transform him back to robot mode, it's fine. Like, I really don't mind it until you get to the back, because the back can be a little, it's a little yeesh. But cool thing is you can see the slot right here, and that's where we put our little buddy, and he stores right there, nice and happy. Of course, since he's right there, the blades aren't going to go over him, but that's fine. And it's just cool to have accessory storage there if you want it anyway. The legs, since they're featuring the signature Michael Bay chicken leg design, you can have them as tall as you want, as short as you want. You can really do almost anything with this figure. But that's kind of what I like about it. But overall, I really like him. He was incredibly strong 3 years ago when I got him, and still now he's just great. He's absolutely great. Overall, to wrap up Blackout, I'd probably say I'd give him probably a 8.4 out of 10. I really like him. The transformation isn't that bad. It can be a little fiddly, and he can be a little, not necessarily hellish, but he is a little involved to get back into robot mode, because the order of operations can be, especially for the back, it is pretty precise. So just keep that in mind as you're doing it. The helicopter mode is flawless. The helicopter mode is a straight 10. There's quite literally nothing about it I would change. He has a cargo bay for you to hold Scorponok. There's weapon storage, and of course, since the blast effects still work, you can have all of it self-contained. I think he is a fantastic pickup. He's a standout of the MPM line, and go get him. Really go get him. The Studio Series one isn't bad, but this is like if the Studio Series one took crack and got in the gym, then found God and got his life together, but still killed humans. So anyway, pretty dope. If you like this review and you want to see more things like it, give me a like, comment, subscribe, share it to your friends, whatever. And if you have any notes about it, if you like him, you have him, you want to get him, or you have any questions, please let me know. And I guess I'll see you guys later. Peace.